Good day and welcome to today's Hangout on Air. My name is Nick Strong. I'm the Managing Director of Franchise Intelligence. Franchise Intelligence, we work with proven and successful franchisors that are looking to meet aspiring franchisees to grow their own self-employed future through a proven format franchise. And that's really the purpose of today's Hangout on Air, to interview experts in the franchise sector for people thinking about joining a franchise for themselves. Today, I'm delighted to say that my expert is Sussanne Chambers, who's the Managing Director and founding partner of the HomeXperts franchise. And Sussanne is here today to answer the question, why build a property franchise, and in particular with HomeXperts. So welcome, Sussanne, and thank you for joining us today. I'll just say, as I can see viewers joining us now, thank you very much for joining us. Just say that should you wish to have any of your questions answered by Sussanne, look at the top right hand of your screen, see this see this graphic and click on that, and you'll be able to click on the comments and the Q&A app, and I'll be able to take your questions for Sussanne. So click on this top right and you can bring your questions for me to answer Sussanne into today's Hangout on Air. So Sussanne, tell us about yourself. First of all, please tell us more about HomeXperts and what you do and how you do it as a franchise.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the introduction, Nick. Is a full-service letting agency franchise for people working from home or working from a non-high street office. We started the business, my background really is as a portfolio landlord, and I experienced a really shockingly bad level of service. And after buying a property overseas, I experienced an absolutely amazing level of customer service. And I started think, why can't it be like this in the UK? So I started researching agencies overseas, Canada, Australia, America, and defining best practice in agency. And I put all of this information into the HomeXperts franchise. And what I did, Nick, was I deconstructed the traditional estate agency model, really dramatically different type of estate and letting agency with such improved levels of customer service. It really was to create an agency with the best trained, most proactive agents within the market. It's to raise the perception of agency within the UK, and whilst we're not big enough to do that across the country at the moment, we can do that transaction by transaction, area by area. The thing I wanted to create was for franchisees to achieve their goals, and seeing how people's lifestyles change, how they meet their aspirations, for me, just gives me the biggest thing, any job satisfaction. So HomeXperts is a nationwide full-service agency. We deliver a great level of customer service to our clients. And we do this by training our franchisees to National Federation of Property Professional Standards, and really deliver a great level of support to people both pre-launch of their business and post-launch with a 20-week structured mentoring program. And another important part for me of the franchise is the innovation, and we're the first property franchise qualifications as part of the franchise package.
Okay, that's a great outline, so thank you for that, Sussanne. Clearly you've spoken about fantastic quality service through your business, through your franchisees for their clients around the UK, and that you do have territories available, which is great news for people watching today, I'm sure. So thinking about the profile of the people that you wish to engage with, I think that's really important, because if your franchisees are going to understand the ethos of the HomeXperts franchise, what do they need to bring in order to successfully replicate your proven business system?
We want to work with highly motivated individuals, couples, people who want to work in the property industry, providing a really great level of customer service to their clients. Our franchisees are fantastic. They come from all walks of life, from IT consultants to accountants, teachers, solicitors, builders, and so many other areas. And is a will to succeed, and that they want to start a business in the protected environment of a franchise.
Okay, so clearly you and your franchisees work very hard to achieve the success you achieve. How has that been proven? How can that be demonstrated in terms of your trading, awards, things like that? What are you most proud of over the past year or so?
I think the thing I'm the most proud of is that we've grown our central support team significantly. Jobs within the central support office. So we now have a really large team to help to support the franchisees. We also introduced an amazing piece of software called the HomeXperts Hub, and we moved all our operations manual to an interactive online platform with 10 volumes, and there's over 1,000 training documents, Nick, and over 300 webinars. And when we demonstrated the HomeXperts Hub to the managing director of the Association of Residential Letting Agents, he said that it was the best training system he'd seen. We were also very proud to get to the national finals of the Chamber of Commerce Awards for Best Use of Technology and our franchise open system. It was amazing. We were one of just 8 finalists. It was a great night. We took 2 of our graduates, and for me, it was just about giving them a lovely, lovely evening to remember. We've been very fortunate. We've won a few other awards along the way, including the Sunday Times Best Estate Agency Franchise, and this was the 2nd year that we were gold winners with that. We recently recognised at the Sunday Times Best Letting Agency Awards for Best Letting Agency Franchise. I feel very humbled to have been awarded the NatWest Woman Franchisor of the Year award. And although the award has my name on it, it's for the team as they make the HomeXperts. And I could not do what I do without their support and expertise. The thing I'm really proud of is to have been appointed as the only estate and letting agency to be part of the UK's government's Back to Work scheme, Franchising Works. It's a scheme whereby the government will lend up to 100% of the cost of the franchise to help out-of-work executives in business. Being appointed as the only estate and letting agency franchise within the scheme clearly is a huge stamp of approval. I did ask a few members of our HomeXperts Central Support team what they were proud of. And a few mentioned that they're really proud of the ethical way which we've grown the HomeXperts franchise organically, and the investment of time and money to deliver an amazing level of support to the franchisees. What we really offer is a personal service to franchisees, and it's all about working with the right people rather than selling lots of franchises. And another team member said that we don't just work as a team, but that every member of the staff is part of the HomeXperts family.
So clearly at HomeXperts, you built a focus for people and around people. So your clients get a great service, your team is highly focused on people's success, and your franchisees can build on your proven model, your training and your support. So if anyone watching today, or indeed the recording at a later date, would like to connect with you to find out more about if they're suitable for your franchise, what is the process to go through to become a franchisee, what territories are available, what would be the best next step for them to take this at this point?
Well, clearly they can see us through online franchise portals like yours, Nick. We have our own website, which is at home-experts.co.uk, where there's loads of information about the HomeXperts franchise. Recruitment portal on that website, and there are lots of videos, interviews with existing franchisees, plus an opportunity to chat with my recruitment team. We're also on all the usual social media. Our recruitment process is that a member of my recruitment team will have a chat with them, initial discovery meeting. We don't hold these en masse. We like to do this on an individual basis. franchisees are the most important part of our business, and investing time and energy into finding the right people to work with, what it's all about. And clearly we're also on all the usual social media.
Okay, so that's helpful for anyone watching as to how they can read about you, learn more about you, and indeed connect with you and your team. For people that are aspiring to be self-employed, perhaps new to the business, franchise business concept, what would be helpful, I think, at this point is for me to ask you some questions about franchising itself, to give some detailed information so people understand how franchising works as a business concept. So first of all, at its most fundamental level, what is a franchise?
Well, a franchise is a well-known business system which people purchase the rights to use, the business model, trademarks, systems, to open and run a branch of a larger company. Under a license agreement, you'll be entitled to operate, certainly with HomeXperts, a full-service estate and letting agency with centralised back office support, geographical location. You'd also have the rights to use our branding, trademarks, materials, and run the business in line with our online operations manual. You'd also benefit from being supported by a team of experts and access to industry-leading systems from initial launch and setup to ongoing business development and marketing so that you can continually grow your business. Importantly, Nick, they will also enjoy the freedom and autonomy that comes with growing and developing their own business.
Okay, so you may have touched on my next question to some extent. Thinking about, some people might think that, you know, they understand property, they may already be a landlord. They might be thinking, well, why would I join a franchise? Why would I invest, for example, into HomeXperts? Why don't I just open up on my own and give it a go? What's the difference? What's the benefit of investing into a franchise as opposed to going alone?
Well, firstly, you have a much greater chance of success. Figures from the CBI show if you start your own business, you have an 80% chance of failure within 3 years. Whereby if you open a franchise, the recent NatWest franchising survey of 2015, 95% of franchises are successful and profitable after 3 years. So given the option, an 80% chance of failure or a 5% chance of failure, I feel the odds are just stacked so highly in favour of franchising. Why is that? Why are the figures so different? Well, it's a number of reasons. First of all, you've got a really robust business model. You've got a business model that's been stretched and challenged and tried to be broken by numerous franchisees who will have failed. What perhaps is important is that the franchise you choose is a model of continual business improvement. Property, the market's fast moving, and so at HomeXperts we're constantly innovating, and irrespective of whether you join HomeXperts or another franchise, look for a model of continual improvement and innovation. And in starting a new business, very often the most scary part is unconscious incompetence. It's not knowing what you don't know. And I had a lovely lady come and spend some time with me in London, and she told me she had set up an agency. It wasn't doing very well, so she thought she'd now join the franchise. And so she showed me her website, and I asked her, you know, what have you done about A, B, and C? Me. And I said, well, what permissions have you put in place? A, B, C? And she said, well, nothing. And I said, did you know you're trading legally? Did you realise if caught, you could face a large fine? If somebody is hurt as a result of you failing to implement this, you could actually go to prison. And this wasn't a scallywag type lady. This was a perfectly professional person that just didn't know what they didn't know. And so as a franchisor, one of the areas I'm absolutely focused on is keeping our franchisees compliant with legislation and laws. And if something changes, our franchisees will get away telling them what it is, what it means, and what they need to do about it. I mean, other elements of why a franchise is more successful is focused direction. You can spend your time on money-making activities for work that you could do setting up a business. Most of that is done for you with a franchise. The franchisor should have done a lot of franchise product research, and they should have great buying power. And for me, we do a supplier review every 12 months. We talk to all of our suppliers. We check the prices are still the best in the industry. And the criteria for me is that a franchisee must buy the products and services at the same price as if they're joint HomeXperts. Those products and services must be better value for them. Cost savings on an ongoing basis in joining a franchise network. And just in the last few years, we've saved our franchise network. In 2014, we saved them £54,000 by renegotiating products and services they needed. And then in 2015, we saved them £25,000. Most important is the network and support, that you're not on your own. That there's a team of people from a central support office that are there to support you. But perhaps more importantly, the bad days, when things aren't going right. There's somebody you can pick up the phone to and chat to and say, I've had a horrible day. Be important on the great days, that there's somebody there to share your success with. Because starting your own business can be lonely. You can feel isolated, you can feel alone. So it's not just the support of the central support team, it's also the franchise network, where you've got a whole team of colleagues that you're not in competition with, the same as you are. At different stages, there'll be people franchise at a similar time to yourself that'll be at the same stage in the life cycle of the franchise, and there'll be people who are already more established, that have been there, done it, and will be happy to share their industry experience with you. Work and support is just essential. And look at the statistics for our franchisees. They're industry beating and totally incredible.
Okay, great. Well, I think that in summary to what you just said, I think in summary to what you just said, a great franchisor is someone that is passionate about their business, has proven their business, is passionate about their people and provides second to none training and support, provides perhaps a shoulder to lean on, a shoulder to cry on if necessary, and gives that ongoing development, support, and even buying power for the franchisees. So it's all about following a system to get the gains of something bigger than yourself. And from what you said, the profile of a successful franchisee would be someone that enthusiastically throws themselves into replicating that proven system of the franchise business. So thinking a little bit more about entering the franchise, when someone comes into a franchise, they pay a franchise fee. What do they do? Why do they pay that franchise fee, and what should they expect to get for their money?
Well, the franchise fee is to buy a unique territory, an area which the franchisee will operate. It also covers equipment. So for HomeXperts, the franchise package includes a camera, iPad, digital measurer, membership of professional bodies, marketing materials, car designs, training to run their business. And we even pay for franchisees to take their National Federation of Property Professional exams so they can start their business fully qualified.
Okay, that's helpful. So it's not just money going out. It's really money that's spent in entering the franchise that's reinvested into the franchisee. So what about, there's also a contract signed between the franchisor and the franchisee. Why is there a contract, and what's it there for?
Well, the contract's really important. It sets out the obligations of both the franchisor and the franchisee. It sets out a structure of how the parties will work together, what each party can expect of each other. new splits, ways of working, and what will happen if the franchisee wants to sell their business or indeed is in breach of the franchise agreements.
Okay, and when in terms of ongoing development of a local franchisee's business, the franchisee will pay ongoing management service fees. Why do they pay those fees, and what should they expect to receive for them?
Well, with HomeXperts, the franchisees get a huge amount for the ongoing management service fees. They get access to the property portals, which enables them to list their properties. They get access to the sales and estate agency software to promote their properties. Software, data software that enables them to talk to different people, and insurances, membership of the professional bodies, and ongoing support and training. The other element of HomeXperts is giving access to the HomeXperts Hub, where there really is, Nick, everything they need to run their business, they're available for them. Franchisees get a page on our national website, an individual website, and we were the first property franchise in the UK to give franchisees their own website, which they control and manage locally. And it really is their website. They can change content, add pages, information on there about roadworks, brownie picnics, school fates, local property market conditions, etc.
Okay, so you spoke a lot about the quality of your organization, the quality of your support team, and the quality of your franchisees. You spoke about you want people with passion to approach you, those that want to follow your proven system. So before I pick up the phone or send you an email, what questions might I ask myself before I actually take that step and apply for more information about becoming a HomeXperts franchisee?
To me, the most important questions a franchisee should ask are really of themselves. What's that? What sort of work they enjoy, what business sectors they're interested in, and they need to ask themselves some tough financial questions about how much they can afford to invest, how they are going to be able to manage to live during the setup and start of their business, and their lifestyle. And is this going to be a part-time business where they can pick the children up from school every day? Are they wanting to build a larger business empire? Or is the business they want to create in terms of size? They need to consider how they'll manage the cash flow at the start of their business. Do they like working with people? And most importantly, can they follow systems and processes? Because no matter what type of franchise they join, the system and process is what they're going to need to follow. You know, it's important that they consider, you know, do they like working with people? Do they like working with figures? And how are they going to motivate themselves? Getting out of bed in the morning and going to work when there's nobody to tell you, you have to do this, sometimes is the hardest part of owning a business. Motivating yourself on the goods, getting yourself going when times are quiet, thinking, how can I generate more income? What have I done today that potentially is going to grow my business? You need to ask a lot of questions of yourself before starting a franchise.
Okay, that's helpful to know. So, you know, clearly in each sector, there's a number of different franchisors, but each one of them will have their USPs, their specialities, their ways of working with franchisees to help them build their businesses and realize successful futures. So what questions should I ask a franchisor when they meet them to help understand whether that franchise is right for me in my future?
Well, clearly it depends on the type of franchise they're looking at. Personally, I've been wanting to know what the franchisor is looking for in a franchisee, what their recruitment strategy is, whether they seem generally interested in you, the person, or do they just want to sell a franchise to anybody. You should certainly ask about training, both the initial training and the ongoing training. For me, this is one of the largest areas of investment for HomeXperts, and our training academy is 2 weeks compared to some other property franchises which were only 3 days. Now clearly you're going to be a better educated franchisee after 2 weeks of training than 3 days. So definitely ask about the initial training. Ongoing support. This is really important. They need to know if it's ad hoc or structured. Yes, that ongoing support. Is it going to be enough for their individual needs? And so at HomeXperts we have a 20-week mentoring and support program as these get a great start to their business.
Okay, so one thing that I may want to do, I might have examined myself and be happy with the questions that I give about myself, may have spoken to the franchisor and thought, yes, I'm happy with the training, with the support. Now, before I join the franchise, I think it'd be a great idea to speak to the franchisees. Now, how should I go about that, and what sort of questions should I be asking the franchisees?
Well, again, I think it comes back to training. What was the training like? Did the franchisee feel supported by the franchisor? Did they feel the training was adequate to enable them to start their business in a professional way? What a typical day is like. You know, it's important that people understand exactly what type of business and how do they manage their workflow. What they should remember is that if they start a business, the success of that business will be very much in their hands. Their activities and their attitude which would determine whether the business is successful. So while talking to other franchisees, you know, is an important part of the recruitment process, the way that one franchisee operates their business could be very different in terms of attitude and activity to the way another franchisee operates their business. And that's important to remember that as well.
Okay, that's great. So Sussanne, thank you for this half hour, which has flown by. Thank you for sharing information about HomeXperts. Thank you for the insight you've given about franchising in general. It's been very useful for the people that are watching. Thank you all for joining us for this live event. And should you wish to watch it again, you can go to YouTube and make a search for Why Build a Property Franchise with HomeXperts, and you can have a watch again. You'll be able to ask your questions through the YouTube channel, and myself, my team, and Sussanne and her team, I'm sure will be delighted to answer your questions, or indeed you can go direct through to Sussanne through her website, or indeed look her up on selectyourfranchise.com and read about and apply for the franchise there. So thank you again, Sussanne. Just one final word from you, just a quick reminder. If after watching this, I would like to make contact with you, please remind me, best way to make contact with you and your team.
Well, the best way is to speak to a member of my recruitment team. You can go online to the online virtual brochure at home-experts.co.uk and register, and we'll be in touch. You can attend a discovery meeting, which we hold around England and Wales. And if you're interested in property, HomeXperts is really the best property franchise for you to join. It's not just the fantastic accolades and awards that we've won, you know, which clearly are, you know, absolutely fantastic, but it's also looking at our individual statistics. 100% customer satisfaction. 100% of our customers would recommend HomeXperts to family and friends. We sell properties at 98% of the original asking price. The industry average nationwide is 90%, so significantly better than that. We convert 8 out of every 10 appointments to business. This is against an industry average of 1 in 3, and we're selling 79.8% of the properties we take to market. The industry average is only scarily 27.5%. You know, all these mean that our franchisees and the way that our franchise works is being accepted and being recognised by people out there when our agents go into their homes to talk to them about their properties. We're expanding our team across England and Wales, and it'd be absolutely fantastic to meet some bright, sparky people that love property, that love working with people and want to deliver an amazing level of customer service. If this is you, we'd love to talk to you. And thank you very much for joining both Nick and myself today. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you again from myself and Suzanne. We appreciate your interest, and you've now heard what Suzanne has to say. You now know how to contact Suzanne with regards to your own future in franchising with HomeXperts. Thank you very much for joining again. You can see this recording again on YouTube, and we thank you for joining us, and we wish you a very successful